In our increasingly interconnected world, understanding the dynamics between income inequality and purchasing power is crucial. These two concepts are deeply intertwined and influence each other in significant ways. Income inequality, the uneven distribution of income among a population, directly impacts people's ability to afford goods and services. When income is concentrated in the hands of a few, the majority may struggle to meet their basic needs. This, in turn, affects their purchasing power, the quantity of goods and services an individual can purchase with a unit of currency. Higher income levels generally translate to greater purchasing power, allowing individuals to buy more and better quality goods and services. The interplay of these two factors has profound implications for economic growth, social stability, and overall well-being. When purchasing power is unevenly distributed, it can lead to a cycle of poverty and limited economic mobility for those at the lower end of the income spectrum. The consequences of income inequality are far-reaching. It affects not only the economic landscape, but also the social fabric of communities. Disparities in income can lead to significant differences in living conditions, educational opportunities, and overall quality of life. High levels of income inequality can lead to social unrest, political instability, and slower economic growth. When large segments of the population feel marginalized and unable to improve their circumstances, it can result in widespread dissatisfaction and conflict. Moreover, it can exacerbate poverty and reduce access to essential goods and services like healthcare, education, and housing. Those with lower incomes often face significant barriers to accessing quality healthcare and education, which are critical for improving their economic prospects. Examining income inequality through the lens of purchasing power provides a tangible understanding of its impact on people's daily lives. By looking at how income distribution affects the ability to purchase necessary goods and services, we can better understand the challenges faced by different segments of the population and work towards more equitable solutions. To delve deeper into this relationship, we need to understand two key metrics: Purchasing Power Parity, PPP, and the Gini coefficient. PPP is an economic theory that compares different countries' currencies through a basket of goods approach. By comparing the price of this identical basket of goods in different countries, PPP determines the relative purchasing power of each currency. The Gini coefficient, on the other hand, measures income inequality within a country. It ranges from 0 to 1, with 0 representing perfect equality, everyone has the same income, and 1 representing perfect inequality, one person has all the income. A higher Gini coefficient indicates greater income inequality within a nation. While PPP is a useful tool, it has limitations. Traditional PPP does not consider income distribution within a country. This means that a country with high income inequality may have a higher PPP than is reflective of the average person's purchasing power. To address this, economists have developed an adjusted PPP that factors in income inequality. This adjusted PPP provides a more accurate representation of the purchasing power experienced by the average person in a country. It highlights how income inequality skews purchasing power, making it a crucial tool for understanding the real economic capabilities of individuals within a nation. Comparing original and adjusted PPP for major economies reveals significant differences. These differences are crucial for understanding the real economic conditions and living standards in various countries. For instance, the United States, despite having a relatively high GDP per capita, experiences a notable downward adjustment in PPP when considering income inequality. This adjustment highlights the disparities in wealth distribution and the cost of living across different regions within the country. This suggests that the average American's purchasing power is lower than what traditional PPP figures might suggest. The high cost of essential goods and services, coupled with income inequality, means that many Americans struggle to afford a comfortable standard of living. Similarly, China, while experiencing rapid economic growth, also exhibits a disparity between original and adjusted PPP. The country's economic boom has not been evenly distributed, leading to significant differences in purchasing power among its population. This underscores that even with significant economic progress, high levels of income inequality can limit the purchasing power of a large segment of the population. Many Chinese citizens still face challenges in accessing affordable goods and services, despite the country's overall economic success. On the other hand, countries like Germany, with lower income inequality, show a smaller difference between original and adjusted PPP. This indicates a more equitable distribution of wealth and a higher standard of living for the average citizen. The stability in Germany's economy allows for more consistent purchasing power across different income groups, reflecting a healthier economic environment. High inequality, low purchasing power. A look at South Africa, Namibia, and Eswatini. These three countries, while rich in natural beauty and cultural heritage, face significant economic challenges that impact the daily lives of their citizens. The impact of income inequality on purchasing power is even more pronounced in countries with high Gini coefficients. The Gini coefficient is a measure of income inequality, with higher values indicating greater disparity. In South Africa, Namibia, and Eswatini, these values are among the highest in the world, reflecting deep economic divides. South Africa, Namibia, and Eswatini, all characterized by stark income disparities, exhibit significantly lower adjusted purchasing power parity values compared to their original PPP. This means that the cost of living and the ability to purchase goods and services are severely impacted by the unequal distribution of income. This highlights how extreme inequality translates into significantly reduced purchasing power for a large portion of their populations. Many families in these countries struggle to afford basic necessities such as food, housing, and healthcare, which exacerbates the cycle of poverty. In these nations, the concentration of wealth in the hands of a few limits the economic participation and opportunities for the majority. The stark contrast between affluent neighborhoods and impoverished areas is a visible reminder of the economic divide that persists. This disparity in purchasing power contributes to social and economic challenges, hindering overall development and prosperity. Social unrest, inadequate education, and barriers to economic growth are just some of the issues that arise from such inequality. Addressing these challenges requires comprehensive policies and initiatives aimed at reducing income inequality and promoting inclusive economic growth. The bottom of the ladder: Chad, Central African Republic, and Guinea. The lowest adjusted purchasing power parity values are often found in countries grappling with extreme poverty and inequality. Chad, the Central African Republic, and Guinea, despite having relatively low costs of living, experience severely limited purchasing power due to extreme income inequality. This means that even basic necessities remain out of reach for a significant portion of their populations. These cases underscore the urgency of addressing income inequality as a key driver of poverty and deprivation. When a significant percentage of the population lacks basic purchasing power, it creates a vicious cycle of poverty, hindering economic growth and perpetuating inequality. Beyond numbers, the human cost of inequality and low economic access. The impact of income inequality and low purchasing power extends far beyond economic indicators. It translates into limited access to essential goods and services, impacting health, education, and overall well-being. Individuals with low purchasing power often face difficult choices between basic necessities like food, housing, and healthcare. This lack of access perpetuates cycles of poverty and limits opportunities for upward mobility. Children from low-income households may lack access to quality education, hindering their future prospects. The inability to afford proper healthcare can lead to preventable illnesses and reduced life expectancy. A call to action: bridging the gap for a more equitable world. Addressing income inequality and boosting global purchasing power requires a multifaceted approach. Governments, policymakers, and international organizations must collaborate to create more equitable societies. This includes implementing progressive taxation policies, strengthening social safety nets, and investing in education and healthcare. Furthermore, promoting fair trade practices, supporting small businesses, and ensuring decent work conditions are crucial steps towards a more just and equitable world. By bridging the gap in purchasing power, we can unlock greater economic opportunities, foster social mobility, and create a more prosperous future for all.